Earning $500,000 and having $500,000 are not the same thing. Over the years, far more than $500,000 may pass through your account. You earn a salary, spend money, pay off debt, replace your car, and move into a more expensive home. You may earn a lot and still end up with almost nothing. The goal in this video is not to earn a total of $500,000 over your lifetime. It is to build $500,000 in wealth that belongs to you after subtracting your debts. And you do not need one magical investment to achieve it. The journey from $0 to $500,000 has 4 stages. At each stage, the way you make money, the risks you face, and what you need to do change. The game you play on the way to your first $10,000 is not the same game you play between $250,000 and $500,000. Most people focus on the wrong thing at the wrong stage. They chase investment returns before they have savings. Then, once they accumulate some money, they feel rich and raise their standard of living. So, let's begin with the first part of the journey. $0 to $10,000. At this stage, your main goal is not to make money. It is to prevent yourself from falling back to zero. When you only have enough money to cover a few weeks of expenses, every unexpected cost pushes you backward. Your car breaks down, a medical bill appears, you lose your job, or you need to move. You cash out long-term investments, use your credit card, or borrow under terms you would rather avoid. You save for a while, and then one event sends you back to the starting point. The purpose of your first $10,000 is not to generate a large return. It is to create a buffer between you and life. Trying to double your money quickly usually does not speed things up. Losing it could set you back by months or years. If you have $3,000 and make a 100% return, you reach $6,000. But if you lose it all, you start again from zero. At the beginning, the amount you add every month matters more than your investment return. If you save $500 a month, you add $6,000 a year, far more than your account is likely to produce at this stage. That is why the first goal is not exciting. Stop the debt cycle, set aside a few months of basic expenses, and build a consistent saving habit. Reaching $10,000 will not make you rich, but it will make it harder for every small problem to push you back into debt. Then comes a longer and more difficult part. $10,000 to $100,000. Most people remain here for years because their investment account is not large enough to help much. Most progress still has to come from their income. The question is not, which investment will earn the highest return? It is how much capital you can add every year. If you earn $3,000 a month and save $300, you put aside $3,600 a year. Even without investment returns, reaching $100,000 at that pace would take around 28 years. The problem is not impatience. The math is not enough. Cutting back on coffee or canceling subscriptions may help, but there is a limit to how much you can reduce expenses. Your income has more room to grow. Imagine increasing your monthly income from $3,000 to $5,000. Even if expenses rise from $2,700 to $3,200, you can save $1,800 a month. Your annual savings rise from $3,600 to $21,600. You did not take more risk or find a magical investment. You simply widened the gap between income and spending. That is usually how most of the first $100,000 is built. Learning a higher-paying skill, moving into a more valuable position, finding additional clients, starting a small business, or offering your work to a larger market can all increase that gap. Not every path suits everyone. But when your capital is small, increasing income can be far more effective than improving investment returns by a few percentage points. If you have $20,000, earning 12% instead of 10% adds only $400 a year. Increasing monthly income by $500 adds $6,000 a year. But when income rises, another problem begins. You start spending more. You used to earn $3,000 and spend $2,700. Now you earn $6,000 and spend $5,700. Your income has doubled, but your monthly savings are still $300. From the outside, your life looks better. You have a better car, a better home, and more expensive habits. But your speed toward $500,000 has not changed. Not everyone who reaches $100,000 has a very high income. But when their income rises, they keep at least part of the increase. Wealth is not created only by how much you earn. It is created by how long you maintain the gap between earnings and spending. At around $100,000, you notice something new. Your capital is no longer just money sitting on the side. An 8% return on $10,000 produces $800. Useful, but not enough to change your annual plan. The same return on $100,000 produces $8,000. If you save $20,000 a year, and your capital grows by around $8,000, you are no longer moving forward alone. Your account is beginning to contribute a meaningful share of what you add yourself. There is no guarantee you will earn 8% every year. Some years may be better, and others may bring losses. The point is not a particular rate. It is that as capital grows, even small percentages produce visible results. But this is where many people take more risk than they should. It may have taken years to reach $100,000. Then you want to turn it into $200,000 quickly. You put a large amount into one stock, a leveraged trade, or an opportunity you do not fully understand. If it works, the journey may become shorter. If it fails, you could lose years of savings. Remember one simple calculation. If an investment loses 50%, earning 50% is not enough to recover. The remaining money must grow by 100%. When $100,000 falls to $50,000, you must double it to return to $100,000. As your capital grows, you need to consider not only how much you could earn, but how much you could lose. In the early stages, your greatest risk was moving too slowly. Now, it may be erasing years of progress while trying to move faster. From $100,000 to $250,000, your investment account helps more, but income still matters. If you keep increasing annual savings, spread capital across different investments, and avoid major losses, progress may be faster than before. At around $250,000, the math changes again. An 8% annual change on $250,000 is $20,000. That may equal or exceed what many people can save in a year. You are no longer approaching the goal only through money set aside from your salary. Your capital now has a serious effect on the result, but the amount you could lose has also grown. The security of having $250,000 can lead you to feel as if you have already reached the goal. A more expensive home, a new car, or much higher annual expenses may now seem affordable. Each decision may look reasonable on its own, but the ongoing costs can reduce your saving rate. If expenses rise while income does not, you may slow down again as you approach $500,000. Another danger is impatience. Once you reach $250,000, the goal no longer feels far away, and you may want to finish the journey with one big move. But it makes little sense to abandon the system that built the first $250,000. Protect your income, prevent expenses from growing uncontrollably, keep investing consistently, and do not put years of savings into one decision. The final stage is not more exciting. You are simply doing the same things with larger numbers. How long it takes to reach $500,000 depends on your starting point, income, annual savings, and investment results. Someone who saves $10,000 a year cannot reach the goal as quickly as someone who saves $50,000. Instead of copying someone else's timeline, look at your own math. How much can you add each year? How quickly is your income growing? How much of each increase are you keeping? Can your plan survive a major loss? These questions are less exciting than asking which investment will perform best next year. But most of your first $500,000 is built from their answers. Not one big decision, but a few good decisions that increase your income, the gap between earnings and spending that you protect for years, and the major losses you avoid. Your first $10,000 protects you from constantly falling back to zero. From $10,000 to $100,000, most progress comes from income. After $100,000, capital begins to help more noticeably. After $250,000, the annual movement of your investments can become large enough to compete with what you add yourself. At the beginning, the entire weight is on your shoulders. Toward the end, your money begins carrying part of it. The day you reach $500,000, your life may not suddenly look different. You may live in the same home, drive the same car, and keep going to work. But you are no longer starting from zero. The real value of your first $500,000 is not what you can immediately buy with it. Until that point, you carry the money. After that point, the money begins carrying you.